Tell me, darling, could we run away? We could hide away by the cactus desert blue. I can see it just a mile away from this crowded place. I could lay there next to you.
Hey friends, welcome back to our channel. So today we're going to do Star Wars. So a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So our question for you guys today before we get started with the box office stuff is who shot first, Han or Greedo? And we know that that's a huge topic for the Star Wars fans. So that's why we're kind of throwing it out there. We want to see what you guys think. And just a disclaimer, we are not Star Wars experts by any means. So just a disclaimer to start the video.
Yep.
So the box office stats are, it had an $11 million budget. Opening weekend, it made about two, which with inflation would be $9 million today. In the U.S., it grossed $461 million, which is $2 billion with inflation today. And then the cumulative gross worldwide, it grossed $775 million, which is $3.3 billion with inflation today. So it's did very well box office wise.
Yeah. Well, it says the second most attended movie of all time in North America, having sold an estimated 178 million tickets over its various theatrical runs, which would equate to gross of approximately $1.48 billion at 2015 ticket prices. The only movies to have sold more tickets is Gone with the Wind in 1939 with 202 million tickets.
Well, and I thought it was interesting when I was doing the research. It said George Lucas was so sure that this movie would flop that instead of going to the premiere, he went on vacation to Hawaii with his good friend Steven Spielberg. And when they were there, they came up with the idea for Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. And guess who was in that movie?
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
Of course, this is the original one, so I think out of the three, I think I do like this one better out of the three. It's probably the one I like the most.
Yeah, this is episode 4, New Hope. I don't think I said that at the beginning, but yeah, this is Star Wars episode 4, A New Hope.
Okay, so this is the only Star Wars movie where Darth Vader's signature theme, the Imperial March, is not played in some form or another, as it had not been written at the time. And with these movies, if you go back and notice them, each character has their own theme music. Did you notice that?
I think I did, yeah.
So every time you see Han, there's a certain music playing. Every time you see Luke, and that carries through all the movies.
I do feel like you noticed Darth Vader's more than everybody else's, though. At least I did. I caught on to that more than everybody else's theme music.
So my favorite scene is, I'm the weird one, is when they're stuck in the trash compactor.
Oh yes. I guess it really did stink because I know Chewie's suit.
Yes.
Began smelling after that.
Yeah.
I don't know. My favorite parts of the movie, honestly, are just the Han Leia scenes. The way they banter back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And he calls her princess or your highness or your war. I think one time I don't remember if it was in this movie or another one of them, where he called her her worshipness or something like that. Right. I don't know. I just like their banter back and forth.
Yeah. They're cute for sure. But Mark Hamill held his breath for so long during the trash compactor scene that he broke a blood vessel in his face. Mm-hmm. And then supplicant shots are from one side only. Every time I watch that scene, I just think it goes to show how well they did it, because every time I watch that scene, I'm always on the edge of my seat. I know what's going to happen. I know they're going to get saved. But C-3PO, man, he really knows how to make you feel like, are you going to get to your job or not? Get with it, man. And something else that's really funny. So this is a movie where almost every TV show has talked about it in some shape or form, or they've redone scenes. Family Guy is notorious for doing this type of thing, but Family Guy has actually done episodes that are Star Wars.
I have to say I'm a Han Solo fan, though. Mm-hmm. I love Han Solo.
Yeah.
I like his relationship with everybody. I just feel like, I don't know.
Right.
And I love his banter with Leia.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about the cantina scene. So when they go to the cantina, Obi-Wan kills that guy and nobody like bats an eye. But then we see them kick the droids out. We don't serve your kind here. It's like, do you guys really have like a limitation on who you elect? Like, somebody just killed somebody, but he's allowed in there, but the droids, who are completely harmless, can't come in.
I guess it's Luke is out looking for the droids, CPO and R2D2, when they escape, because they're originally taken to him and his uncle on their farm.
Yes.
And that's how Luke finds out about Princess Leia and all of that going on, because she puts a message and she puts the Death Star instructions the
plans to destroy it.
Plans to destroy it in there, and she sends it to Ben. And that's who it's originally who she's trying to get it to. So they end up finding that by accident because he's cleaning him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they're even there. And then he goes and he gets attacked, and then that's when Ben finds him, or Obi-Wan finds him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then they go to the cantina looking for Han because they need a pilot.
With the Force, is that the Force has such a power that it can make things happen that need to happen. So in that scene where he's buying the droids, he doesn't initially take R2.
Mm-mm.
And then all of a sudden, the one that he is going to take, the other R2 unit that he wants to begin with, it busts down. But that's because the Force made that happen. Because the Force needed R2 to make it to Ben.
Well, just thinking of names and things like that, of how he named everything, the name Wookiee came about as a result of an accident when San Francisco DJ Terrence McGovern was doing a voiceover work on THX 1138 for George Lucas. He made a blunder and exclaimed, "I think I ran over a Wookiee back there." And George Lucas, confused, asked what he meant by it. And McGovern admitted that he didn't know. He just added that and simply made it up. And so George Lucas never got that cute word and used it in the movie.
Cool.
So just little things like that.
Hey, maybe it was the Force.
Never know.
But Luke decides to become a Jedi after the Empire and the Stormtroopers, which are all one and the same, kills Luke's family. Uncle Owen and Aunt Peru.
And isn't another line that's usually used as it's a trap? So they separated them to keep them away from Darth Vader, essentially, or Anakin.
Yeah, they talk about that in the third one. Yeah. Well, I'd say because them together, the Force is even stronger.
Let's see. Well, I think we need to talk about, like, the actors found George Lucas to be very uncommunicative towards them, with his only directions generally being either faster or more intense. So I guess at one point he lost his voice. And so they gave him a board with just those two phrases on it.
I saw that one. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, you would think that would have made him like, okay, I must have a problem here. Do you know what I mean? Like, you think that he would have changed after that. I don't know if he did or not, though.
I don't think so, because it sounds like he was like that all the way through filming. But according to Harrison Ford, during the making of the movie, he and Mark Hamill would usually fool around and not commit to their work whenever Sir Alec Guinness was on set. He sounds like, I don't know, but I guess when he was on set, they behaved much more professionally. But I guess he was a piece of work to work with, too. Like, he's another one that didn't want to come back. Mm-hmm. So that's why they had him killed, or he killed himself, or they mutually agreed to have him killed off or whatever as Obi-Wan. But that's one thing, he does not care that he was in it. Like, he didn't care that he was in it. He just wasn't a huge fan of it.
Yeah. Well, there's just so much. Like, one thing I always see is the guy that was in the R2 unit, the actor that was in it, there was times where they would forget he was in there and leave him. Well,
and then Carrie Fisher confirmed in her autobiography that she disliked the bagel bun hairstyle she wore as Princess Leia. But, however, prior to filming, the studio had requested that she lose some weight first, which she hadn't. And out of fear of being fired for it, she was eager to comply with everything that the writer and director George Lucas suggested, which included the hairstyle. But then if you look at her in, the second movie, or is it the third movie? Might be the third movie, where she's captured. Mm-hmm. And the infamous costume that she's in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't see where she's big.
Well, and she always complained about the stuff, because she claimed that she was in pants and stuff like that all the time, and she didn't feel very womanly. But George Lucas was like, but you're a woman that's fighting. Like, we want them to think of you as a fighter and not as like some eye candy piece or not. I mean, that's not how he phrased it, but not sought after, but like you're a figure of like you're fighting for your people or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they wanted her seen as that and not eye candy essentially, and being someone that's sought after. So. How does it end? Let's see. In this one, it ends with
they're getting their medals because they
Luke
was the one that shot the shot to destroy the Death Star.
Yeah, so they do end up taking out the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
And then they all end up making it back. So Leia's presenting them. And that was another thing that I guess Star Wars fans were upset about, is that Chewie didn't get one.
No, and that was something with all the edits that they've made throughout the years. Chewie still never got an award.
Yeah. I guess that was a big contention too, that he was not presented with one when he was just as big of a part of it as Luke and Han Solo.
Well, and he has been in every movie since episode 3. I'm pretty sure we see him briefly in episode 3, and he has been in every one since then. So he has only missed two episodes.
Well, especially in part 3, or that we watch, or part 6, or episode 6. I mean, he's a huge character in that aspect, and helping them win on the ground anyway.
I'm more of a fan of episode 1. Let's probably like. Out of all of them, episode 1's probably my favorite. And I don't know, like I was talking to Tony last night about it, and I think he gets upset with me because I like him so much, the first 3. But I think what it is that I didn't get to see these. And I never watched these originally. I knew they existed, but like you said, that's not something my family was into. And episode 1 was the first one I ever got to watch. It's the first one I ever watched. So I think that, I don't know, sometimes I think when it comes to this kind of stuff, when whatever gets you into that might always be your favorite, just because it got you into wanting to be a part of this world. And I just remember walking out of that theater and thinking, I'm going to watch the rest of these. Because I liked the first one so much. And to this day, I think the costumes are pretty, they did so well in the CGI. I don't know. I love the first one. But it'll always have that special place in my heart. Because I got
4. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the same way. 4 was the first one I watched, episode 4, A New Hope.
Yeah.
But see, I love Harrison Ford in these too. Like, because I like him as an actor. I mean, because I've watched the Indiana Jones. Now, those were movies that my dad watched. So I obviously grew up watching him in those.
Yeah.
And he's kind of got the same, like his acting is kind of the same in those. Like he's got the funny, but he can do serious too, obviously. Right. But just like the bantering and stuff like that, like he's got it in both movies or both franchises or whatever.
I don't know. I feel like it always changes for me. I know I'm going to be the weird one again. I love Jar Jar Binks. People hated him, but I love him. Once again, whenever I got done watching a movie, I was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. I love him. Like, I'm going to get so much hate. People hate Jar Jar. They hate him. But I love him. He's so cute. He was like kind of the Chewie. I think that's what they were trying to do. He's not. Sorry. He's not anywhere near Chewie. I swear he's not. He's like... but like I think that's what they were trying to do was switch. Like they didn't have Chewie in the first movies or episodes 1 and 2 and 3. They didn't have Chewie, so I think what they were trying to do was have a Chewie in Jar Jar, that's not what happened at all. Like, he doesn't fill that spot at all. You could never replace Chewbacca, because Chewie might be my second. I'm so sorry.
And the relationship between him and Han. And that Chewbacca, like the name Chewbacca is not used very much. It's maybe used once or twice, and then it's Chewie throughout the rest of,
Yeah. Well, Chewie just has so much passion. Like, I just love him because of the passion he has. Well, heck, whenever he's playing against the droids with the little holo chests, and they're playing, Chewie's getting upset about losing, and you don't fight. You don't let a Wookiee lose.
Han tries to tell him.
Shelley asked earlier, who shot first? Greedo or Han? And the answer is, it depends on which version you watch. So no argument really. But if you go back and watch the very first one that ever came out in theater in 1977, Han did shoot first. So it did cause a lot of controversy when George Lucas allowed there to be a change for that and it does, if you watch, okay, so we watched this on Disney Plus, and if you do watch this version and you do look at that scene, it does look like Greedo shot first. It really does. But ultimately it was supposed to be Han. And I look back and I was reading comments about it, and it does make sense for Han to shoot first, only because we have to see that character arc. We have to see him kind of be the rough, tough bad guy, and then him develop into this kind of soft. He still has
softens. Yeah, I mean, I think he does. I think Leia and Luke. Just, I mean, like I said, the interaction between them, all three of them.
Well, and it took him some, I mean, even through the second one, it took him some time to want to fight with the rebellion. Like he
kept wanting to be done and leave. And they kept like, you can't leave now, you're part, like, yeah. So it did take, yeah.
Yeah. Well, in the first one, so like Han is definitely like, I am not fighting. Like, I'm only supposed to be here to transport you and head out. I didn't sign up for all this. And then in the second one, he's still with them. We still see him with them. And then in the third one, he's pretty much like, well, it is what it is at this point. You know, he can't really fight the urge to fight for them or with them. So yes, that was our answer to our question. So in a galaxy far, far, far away, let us know what you like the most out of this movie, because you can't not like this movie. Shelley became a fan. I turned her into
give it a shot. Yeah.
Yeah. We turned you to the light side. But until next time, may the force be with you. I am Tiffany. This is my BFFF Shelley. Join us next time, friends, for another great episode.